Hey, Blam here with SC2Strat.net, bringing you the Terran 3 racks build. As the name implies, this is a Terran build meant to get 3 barracks on the ground, start producing units, and that's the opener, right? This is by far and away the most common opener for the Terran race in the entire game, and it was probably long overdue that we got it posted here. But this is going to be the first time, though, I don't show you guys the entire build all the way to the completion of the match, because it's really just an opening strategy, right? There's so many different transition options after that. You just really need to be scouting your opponent, understand what race they are, and understand where to take the match from there. Obviously transitions very well to MMM play. You can throw down a tech lab and get some tanks out. You could even transition to some Banshee support if you wanted, but yeah, we're going to stop this video once the basis of the build is laid down, so there's not actually going to be any skirmish here. So just playing the computer here to get the point of this build across. So starts out very basic with 10 supply. I then send this SCV out and about to go scout my opponent, and then at 11 we have the first barracks going down. From there, you're just going to keep, pumping SCVs. We're going to get our second barracks at 14 is the next step in this build. So nothing too exciting here. My little scout is pushing out. We discover the opponent's base here. It's the only place the opponent could have been on this map. And then I scout back around through here and back to my base. I just set up some pretty basic rally points there, which is, it's not the greatest micro way to scout, but if all you're trying to do is find out where your opponent is, it's perfectly fine, and you don't have to worry about micro him around while you're trying to macro back at your base. So keep pumping SCVs. Second barracks goes down at 14. First Marine gets made at 16, and that's when you're going to get your orbital command. You're going to get your orbital command center right at 16 as well. A lot of common opens have it at 15. I find just the mineral count works out a little bit better and allows you to get that Marine going. Second supply is going to go down at 17, and that's also the same time you're going to get your first reactor is at 17. So you can see as soon as I had 75 minerals there, I popped that out. Take a look at the production tab here. Pretty basic stuff, right? Don't stop making Marines once you get your barracks laid down. At 18 and 19, we're going to get 2 more Marines, and at 20, we're going to get a third, which is actually a total of 4th Marine. And as soon as you have your reactor down, definitely get that saturated right away so you can get your gas going. Third barracks goes down at 20. And then at 24, we're going to get our third supply. So the way I'm going to show the 3 racks is getting your add-ons one by one. Sometimes you'll see players get all their add-ons, their tech lab and the reactors, all at once, or they'll get 2 and then 1. I don't ever like to stop producing units, and in that, I want to make sure I have at least 2 structures producing units at all time. So as soon as we finish construction of this third barracks here, we're going to add a tech lab to it. And hopefully it goes without saying, guys, don't stop producing SCVs or dropping mules. So as soon as that was completed, we got the tech lab, and then we're going to stay on top of our Marine production here, right? So constantly producing Marines from those other 2 barracks while that tech lab builds. As soon as this tech lab is completed, we're going to go ahead and get our second tech lab on this barracks here, and that way we can produce a Marauder, keep producing Marines, and get our second Marauder out as soon as possible. So actually at 33 is when we trained our first Marauder, and at 35, I'm sorry I didn't show that, guys, that's when we got our gas, and at 38 I go ahead and lay a factory. Now it really depends on the transition to build. If you want to stick with infantry units, go ahead and maybe get a 4th barracks at this point. This build kind of shows how you might transition to MMM. So we went ahead and got that factory there. We then get the reactor at 38, and that's really where I'm gonna cut off the build, guys. We'll let it produce out here to 7 minutes so you can kind of see what my army composition looks. But this is the build, right? 3 barracks, 2 with tech labs, 1 with a reactor. Pump out those Marauders, pump out those Marines. At 7 minutes here, we've got a healthy enough army that we could push out. We can certainly defend our expansion, and I'm going to go ahead and pause it here. So we've got what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12 Marines, 3 Marauders. We can get 2 Marauders in the oven and 2 Marauders in the oven, or 2 Marines in the oven fairly quickly here. So healthy enough force to push out, poke in, do some damage, see what's going on with the opponent, or healthy enough force just to sit back and defend a natural. Right at this point, you should have been producing SCVs constantly. You should be pretty well saturated at your main. You can go ahead and put down a second command center and float that out to your natural if you want to build that, right here or wherever's appropriate in your base. Obviously, research stim, concussive shells, and shields, right? And that's the order I would research those in as well. And yeah, the transition options are up to you after this. So I'm going to stop babbling. This is the build. Very safe opener, very common opener, and really just infinite transition options after that. So check out sc2strat.net, where we'll have some of those transition options listed for you, along with details from this build, and along with the SC2 replay file, so you can load this up in your own game and watch the build at your own pace if you want to do that. Check out some of the production tabs and some of the other builds. So hit the YouTube description for the build order details and sc2strat.net for everything else. Thanks for watching, guys, and good luck out there.